corner, you got all the other stuff, the news, the big announcements, the hype, which this analyst just dismisses as distracting noise. You know, stuff designed to get clicks, not to help you make a good trade. At the end of the day, it's all about this. Anybody can have an opinion. Anyone can tweet something. But the chart? It only cares about one thing: committed capital. It's seen as the ultimate source of truth because it tracks where real people are backing up their beliefs with real money.
Okay, so if the chart is the whole battlefield, how do you track the generals? How do you follow the so-called smart money, the experienced pros, the big institutions? Well, according to this playbook, you read the story that they leave behind in the candles themselves.
So the most basic building block here is the chart candle. A good way to think of it is like a tiny little story. In just one simple shape, it tells you the entire drama of a trading period.
In the wild, chaotic world of crypto
trading,
and
all
the
the
highs
people
and
relying
lows
on
of the fight in
news,
between.
and
Others
here's
on
where the
rumors,
philosophy gets,
some on,
well, pretty radical.
gut feelings.
The core belief
But
is that
we
you
found an
don't need a
analyst
million
whose
complex
entire playbook
indicators.
is
You
built
don't
on
need to have
one
the news
single
on
belief.
24/7.
The only thing
Everything,
that tells the truth
every decision,
is the
every
chart.
whale move,
Today,
every
we're gonna
secret
decode
is
that
supposedly
philosophy.
packed
So
right
the
inside
analyst
each
behind
and
this
every
whole
one of these
playbook
candles.
goes
So what's
by
actually
crypto
packed in there?
infos.
It's the
And,
sum of
well,
every
the sign
action
on here
in the
kinda
market.
gives you a feel
it's the
for
little
their
buys
style,
and sells
right?
from retail
It's
traders
personal,
like us.
it's a
It's
little
the
quirky,
giant
and
market
it's totally
moving trades
focused
from
on the
whales.
information
And most
itself.
importantly,
And this gets
it's
us
the
right
footprints
to
of the
the
smart
absolute
money,
core of the
showing you
philosophy.
exactly where
The
they're
one
quietly
rule that
accumulating
dictates
an asset,
every single
or
move.
where they're selling
The
it
chart
off.
is
The chart
king.
also
For
exposes
this
a
analyst,
really
it's not just
predictable
another
flaw
tool
in
in
human
the toolbox.
psychology, doesn't
It's
it?
the whole
Most people
dang
feel the
toolbox.
safest buying
Now,
when
that is a
prices are
bold
already
statement.
high and
I mean,
everyone's
after
excited.
years and years
That's
of
when they feel
trading,
bullish.
this
analyst
has
has
come
come
to
to
the
panic
conclusion
sell
that
when
studying
prices are
price
low
charts
and everyone's
isn't
scared.
just one way to look
Well,
at
the
the
smart
market.
money
It's
supposedly
the
gets
only way
this.
that really
And
matters.
the candles reveal
It's
how
a way
they
of
often
thinking
do
that
the
basically
exact
tosses
opposite.
everything else out the window.
Selling into all that
So
public
what's the
excitement
logic here?
and buying
It all
into
boils
all
down
that
to a
fear.
battle
Okay,
between
so
signal
that's the big
and
idea.
noise.
That's the theory.
In one corner,
But
you
talk
have
is
the
cheap,
chart,
right?
It's
Let's
seen
put
as
this
this
playbook to the
pure,
test and see how
unfiltered
it
record
works
of
in a
what
real
people
world
are
example
actually
with the
doing with
crypto
their
asset
hard-earned
GALA.
money.
So what
And in
does
the other
this
corner,
philosophy
you got all the
actually
other
look
stuff,
like when
the
you apply
news,
it to
the
a
big
specific
announcements,
chart?
the hype?
Let's
which
find
this
out.
analyst
We're
just
gonna zoom in
dismisses
on
as
GALA
distracting
and
noise.
look at the potential
stuff
price
designed to
paths
get
that
clicks,
this
not to
analyst
help you
has
make a good
identified
trade. At the end of
just
the
by
day,
looking
it's
at its
all about
one-day chart.
this.
So here's the read.
Anybody
The
can have an
current
opinion.
status, the
Anyone can
overall
tweet
mood
something.
is bearish.
But the chart
and the price
it
action
only cares about
it's
one
basically
thing:
stuck,
committed
forming a
capital.
new range down near its
It's
lows.
seen as the ultimate
This is a
source of
classic
truth
crossroads
because it
But
tracks where
notice,
real
the
people are
analyst
backing up
isn't
their beliefs
predicting.
with real
They're
money.
setting traps.
Okay,
so if the
They've
chart
marked
is
a
the whole
clear
upside
upside
target, if
how
it
do you
breaks
track
out, and
the
a
generals?
downside target if
How
it
do you
breaks
follow
down?
the so-called
trade only
smart
comes
money?
after the chart
The
shows its
experienced
hand.
pros,
And this right
the big
here
institutions.
reveals probably
Well,
the
according
most
to this
underrated
playbook, you
tool
read the
in
story
any
that they
trader's
leave behind
playbook.
in the candles
Patience.
themselves.
So the most
The
basic
analyst
building
isn't
block
jumping
here
in.
is the
They're
chart
not guessing.
candle.
A
They're
good way to
waiting.
think of it is like a
The
tiny
plan is to
little
just watch
story.
and let the
In
market
just
make
one
the
simple
first
shape,
move
it
over
tells
the
you the
next few
entire
weeks.
drama of
Because
a trading
eventually
period,
the chart
where the
will
battle
reveal
opened,
which path
where
is
it
more
closed,
likely.
So
and all the
we've seen the
highs and
philosophy,
lows of the fight
we've
in
seen it in
between.
practice.
And here's where the
What's the
philosophy
one
gets,
big idea,
well,
the
pretty
final
radical.
takeaway
The
that holds
core
this
belief
entire
is that
playbook
you
together?
don't need
It
a
all
million
comes down to
complex
this:
indicators.
a price
You don't
chart
need to have the
isn't
news
just
on
lines and data.
24/7.
It's
Everything,
a map of
every
our
decision,
collective
every
psychology.
whale move, every secret
peak
is
a moment of
supposedly
shared
packed right
greed.
inside
Every
each
valley
and every
is
one
a
of these
moment of
candles.
shared
So what's
fear.
actually packed in
The
there?
chart doesn't just
It's
show
the sum
you
of
price,
every action
it shows
in
you
the
a
market.
picture of us.
It's the little
and that
buys
leaves
and
us
sells
with a
from
final
retail
thought.
traders like us.
The next time
It's
you
the
look at
giant
any
market chart
moving trades
don't
from
just ask,
whales,
where's
and
the
most
price
importantly,
going? Ask
it's the
yourself,
footprints of the smart
what does
money,
this pattern
showing
say
you
about
exactly
our
where they're
collective hopes
quietly
and fears
accumulating an asset
right
or
now?
where they're selling
Are
it
you
off.
just
The
looking at
chart
data,
also exposes a
or are you
really
looking in a mirror?
predictable flaw in human psychology, doesn't it? Most people feel the safest buying when prices are already high and everyone's excited. That's when they feel bullish. And they tend to panic sell when prices are low and everyone's scared. Well, the smart money supposedly gets this, and the candles reveal how they often do the exact opposite, selling into all that public excitement and buying into all that fear. Okay, so that's the big idea. That's the theory. But talk is cheap, right? Let's put this playbook to the test and see how it works in a real-world example with the crypto asset GALA.
So what does this philosophy actually look like when you apply it to a specific chart? Let's find out.
We're going to zoom in on GALA and look at the potential price paths that this analyst has identified just by looking at its one-day chart.
So here's the read. The current status, the overall mood, is bearish. And the price action? It's basically stuck, forming a new range down near its lows. This is a classic crossroads. But notice, the analyst isn't predicting. They're setting traps. They've marked a clear upside target if it breaks out and a downside target if it breaks down. The trade only comes after the chart shows its hand.
And this right here reveals probably the most underrated tool in any trader's playbook: patience. The analyst isn't jumping in. They're not guessing. They're waiting. The plan is to just watch and let the market make the first move over the next few weeks, because eventually the chart will reveal which path is more likely.
So, we've seen the philosophy, we've seen it in practice. What's the one big idea, the final takeaway, that holds this entire playbook together?
It all comes down to this. A price chart isn't just lines and data. It's a map of our collective psychology. Every peak is a moment of shared greed. Every valley is a moment of shared fear. The chart doesn't just show you price, it shows you a picture of us. And that leaves us with a final thought. The next time you look at any market chart, don't just ask, where's the price going? Ask yourself, what does this pattern say about our collective hopes and fears right now? Are you just looking at data? Or are you looking in a mirror?